That can't be real.
What's that? Michael as a...
Oh. It has to be... It has to be a different Hercules, not that Hercules.
Why not? Because he's not Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
No, because it's not white.
Huh?
It's not white.
I mean, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was cast as Hercules.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, that was like that's what I'm saying. He has to be a different Hercules in the meaning, like, movie-wise. Not that version of that one is what I'm saying.
Okay. And I'm sitting here calling him Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Like, I always get on... my daughter and her cousins, like, they call him Dwayne Johnson. I'm like, y'all don't know that, man. They call him by he's called The Rock.
His government name was Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. When he came out the womb, they signed Dwayne "The Rock"
Yes.
Johnson.
He ain't got a middle name. It is The Rock.
Speaking of The Rock.
With quotation marks.
I watched the video recently.
Okay.
Of him doing the people's elbow.
like he did it.
If there was any question, the wrestling was fake.
There are so many videos.
I'm just saying, James. The guy laid on the ground for 5 minutes. Yep. Clearly he wasn't knocked out.
You would think, when you were younger, I don't know how the heck we thought it was so... I didn't... It wasn't in my mind that it could be fake or it was real. It was more like, this is the mess.
I suspended a lot of belief.
Yeah.
He had time to take off an elbow, do the show, and then when he finally hit him, it's really not that hard of an impact.
Like I said, I think, I don't want to toot my own horn, but I am. In college, I had the ultimate parody of a wrestling move. When somebody was, let's say I did like my pseudo special move to get him on the ground, and then I look at the crowd, and then I start counting on my fingers. 1. And everybody would count with me. 2, 3. And the higher I got, determined how impactful my little leg drop would be.
I can see that. I can see that working.
It's so bad, but it's such a. I think it's a good parody.
I'm no wrestling fan, expert, whatever you want to call it. But I could see that being a real thing in a wrestling match, like, because it gets the crowd involved.
Exactly.
So if they feel like they're a part of it. I stumbled through that whole sentence. They feel like they are a part of it. I'm trying to work on my speech.
Because not only, you get the urgency feel. Let's say, like, there's some people that try to break up the fight or they want to interfere, say, make that person win. So, I got my back to the entrance place. 1, 2, and then the whole crowd gasps. Somebody come up behind you, hit you. Like, dang, you should have had your, count shorter. Because, I can make it shorter if I wanted to.
True.
Yeah. I think Hulk Hogan, later on in life, I don't know, I didn't watch him when he was younger, but I think his special was a leg drop.
We don't talk about Hulk Hogan.
Okay, yeah, that's just true.
He did not like the black people.
Nah. And it's crazy. He looked like he don't.
He looked like a professional backyard wrestler.
Lots of colors.
He looks like he walks around ripping up like just dining room tables, just like, set him up. That's what he looks like. He says a lot. Set him up.
You didn't do a good job, brother. I don't know how he sounds.
His skin is so leathery too.
Like he's always got sunburn.
Yeah, he was like, I don't know if you ever had like a leather couch, but I remember my mom we had a leather. It may have been pleather. I don't know. I say leather. But we had a leather couch growing up. I just remember having to always spray like this little solution on it to preserve it, keep it from cracking. I wonder if he sprays that on his skin. Hit my back.
And then he used something else for his mustache and beard. Would you say
that's permanent now?
Would you say his skin's so soft?
His leather so soft?
Yeah.
Welcome to another episode of The Big.
And short of it all.
My skin's so soft.
I'll probably have it all.
Speaking of Birdman, I did watch a video. Somebody made a observation that I didn't think about. They mentioned that Birdman is a genius.
Genius.
Here's why.
Okay.
We all know Birdman is not who you come to the song for.
Right.
Well, maybe some. I don't know. Maybe he has some songs that his verses go hard. I don't know. I have yet to find one.
I know a lot of people were raving about his 5-star album. I don't know.
That's why I said there's always exceptions. I'm not talking to those people. However, for the others who don't, I'm not saying he's trash. He's just not. I'm not coming to the song looking for his verse, especially if it's him plus other people.
Yep.
But here's why he's genius according to this person.
Okay.
Because what he'll do is, he already knows you're not coming to. I'm not saying this is not. They're not saying this is what he said, but this is how they feel like he looks at it. You're not coming to the song for me, so I'm gonna put my verse in the middle because you have to listen to me before you get to who you want to listen to.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm a speed bump, but you got to go over it either way.
And you know, if you listen enough, you might learn my lines.
You may find a bar or two that he really, that 116 he tore that up. Like you may.
What happened to that boy?
I mean, because I give you an example. Stunned Like My Daddy. It's not one of my favorite songs of their duo. However, I will tolerate Birdman's verse. I'm like, it's okay.
Was Lil Wayne first and last?
I think Lil Wayne was last.
I know that.
He may have been first as well. I don't know, but I know he was last for sure.
Was Leather So Soft on that album?
Don't know, James. I don't know Birdman albums, nor do I know their album. I just know songs that they were both on.
I think it was, which is weird because I don't think Anyway, all right. So yeah, it was the same thing with Timbaland. Timbaland. Nobody really went to his raps for him. Timbaland and Magoo.
No, I think the best verse I've ever heard from Timbaland, and I say best because, well, I say ever heard because I've only heard a few. Was the song with him and CeeLo.
I haven't heard that one. Jermaine Dupri, him too.
I'll be around. Something. It's an older song because he has a line about his granddaddy, thank Joe Clark, something on the porch with the bat or something. So I really liked it. It was a nice. It wasn't the highlight of the song, but it was kind of catchy. It was like, okay, Timbaland. I like it.
Say Joe Clark was on a porch, but no, he did. I remember him having a bat because he was locked up to school. Yeah.
Everybody called me Crazy Joe. Now you call me Batman. That's what he said when he had the bat.
Lean on Me and Cool Runnings. Those are like my two.
So you do like Cool Runnings, huh?
I love Cool Runnings. What'd you say that for?
I don't know, man, because every day, James, movie-wise, you lose points with me, but then you gain points. You don't like
Nacho Libre.
And Nacho Libre, but then you give me Cool Runnings. I really love Cool Runnings.
Nacho Libre, Old School, Dodgeball, and then School of Rock. All four of the movies are the same, and you can put them in a dumpster fire.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like you say stuff like that, it really hurts my feelings.
You like
but I like all of those, and then you give me Cool Runnings, which is one of my top 10 movies of all time. Tell me what you see. I see pride. I see power.
I see a bad mother who don't take no for no one.
Yeah.
You see all that? Yeah, man.
It's my movie, man.
Yeah.
They just had to throw a fat white man in there. But it's all good.
How about John Candy?
Yeah.
So I don't know, back in the day, how popular any of the other guys were. Because I don't, as far as I know, they haven't done anything since. But I know John Candy.
Malik Yoba's done a lot of stuff since then.
And I think dude was from like 5 Heartbeats.
Who?
The main character.
Leon? Yeah, he's been in the Heartbeats, the Temptations.
Yeah. And I thought you talking about the bald guy, right? Malik
Yeah,
Yoba.
yeah.
I thought he looked familiar. Like I might have seen him in other things, but not. I'm just saying, like none of them really had name recognition. So they put John Candy in there to maybe boost it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as career-wise, Leon and Malik Yoba, they've had the best careers out of the four. The other two, I feel like the guy with the, Sanka?
Yep.
I don't know his real name.
Yep.
I feel like I've seen him in other stuff too, but his career wasn't the same as like Leon or like a Malik Yoba, which, not like their careers were just like,
Which is because Sanka, he was
his best part of the movie.
exactly, and he kind of I won't say made the movie. The movie's just great altogether. But you would think that he would have got more opportunities if it could be, just that he didn't want to.
I was about to say he probably just did because he's probably like a what's the guy's name from Honey I Shrunk the Kids, the main character.
Oh, I see his face. I don't know.
Because he quit acting for like a while,
Yep.
and so he just kind of just stopped. Because he was up there after those movies, but then he just kind of that and some other ones, but then he just kind of was like, I'm done.
Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was family related. I think maybe something happened in his family that he had to take a step back, but which is over now. So you would think that he'd come back. I'm sure whatever he's in, he'd probably get a lot of people. I'll say that a lot of young people. No, because I mean I've let my daughter watch Honey I Shrunk the Kids and its sequel, No S.
I feel like it depends on. I feel like it depends on what he comes back in.
Yeah.
If it's like something new or if it's like something related to, like, oh, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids again.
No, we don't need that. Like it could be a key. I don't know dude's name, but the guy that's in Loki or Obi.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know if it's gonna be like a featuring role or a minor role where it's like hey, I'm just popping up, or if he's gonna try to star in something. So there was Brendan Fraser. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but he made a movie called The Whale not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I was watching. I don't know. Sure, we'll say
seen it.
me either. I'll say spoilers. This movie. Oh, it's a 3.5 hour movie. What was that movie?
Good luck with that.
What did I just watch? I was just watching it. Killers of the Flower Moon. So at the end, Brendan Fraser come out and I don't want to say fat. I'm just gonna say fat too. But he just popped up. I was like, hey, look at the whale. I was like, don't typecast yourself, man, because you kind of already was typecast, and you said they blackballed you in the Hollywood, and now you're back.
Did you say that out loud when it came out?
No, I was thinking it.
Okay.
I was thinking.
I was about to say. That makes me. Again, I know we're all over the place, but it makes. Was that with you? I just remember. I feel like it was me and you because it had to be Hollywood 18, and the only time I ever went to Hollywood 18 was when you would invite me or we would go. I just have a memory of going to see a movie, which I feel like it was Hollywood 18 because I'm just picturing the way the theater was set up, and like I just remember the previews coming on, and it was like probably 8 to 10 people in the theater, and there was a guy sitting at the bottom, and like the previews would come on, and once the preview was over, he was like 5 out of 10. It's like it's just every preview he just yelled out loud 7 out of 10. I was like, okay, I kind of agree with him,
People, they be having their quirks, but I like it.
Well, I mean, it worked because, like I said, it wasn't but like 10 people. So if it had been a jam-packed theater, it probably would have been a different thing. But like since it was only 8 or 9 of us, everybody didn't care.
It's not like he's talking through the movie.
No.
There are them times I've said, there was like 2 or 3 movies where the previews were better than the movie, and I can't remember what they were, but
The bigger question is, you made it to the previews?
When I was younger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I was younger.
You don't make it to previews now, James.
No, I didn't even make it to the previews for what's that? Killers of the Flower Moon.
I like the previews.
If you go every day though, they're the same previews.
But that is true. You do go a lot more than I do. 'Cause I'm very rare that I go to the theater. So yeah, I get that. That makes sense. But yeah, if you're going every day,
Every day was an exaggeration. It's not every day.
I know you don't. But I'm saying you go well more than I do. And I'm just like, yeah, they would get old after a while. Especially if you're already watching them at home too when they come out. I don't know if you do, but I know I do. So usually, even though I like the previews, sometimes I've already seen some of them, but it's still seeing it in the theater, and then sometimes they throw extras. I still try to get that for them. I like them.
And speaking of, okay, so I guess I should say I should be making a review, which I'm going to make a review of Five Nights at Freddy's. It's probably been a review to hell by now. So I mean, what's one more review?
It's on Peacock now, ain't it? Yeah.
But it's even so, people are going to go see it in the theater. It's supposedly breaking a lot of records, probably Halloween records.
Yeah.
But Killers of the Flower Moon, it is definitely 3.5 hours long. And when the first shoot, I can't even tell you. It's so long that I can't tell you beginning, middle, or end. But it is hard to get through. It's a Martin Scorsese film, so it doesn't necessarily fall into this or that. Maybe you would call it drama, but there is some, I won't say action every now and then, but it's so sparse that some people find it hard to get through. If you don't like long movies, boring movies, you're not going to like this one.
But what made it boring to you, though?
So the beginning was boring because it didn't really have an aim. Even though I knew what the conflict was, it was just...
The build-up wasn't enough to keep you excited.
Yeah, it was more like... It was kind of like a love story.
There we go. So you didn't like that, so therefore you were checked out.
Yeah, I'm not big on romance movies.
But that's what I'm trying to get at. So that's why I asked what was boring to you, because somebody else may see it like, oh, it wasn't that boring to me, but that's because they made like romantic stuff.
Yeah.
But I get you, like, I like romance, but I like romantic movies if I know I'm coming in for a romantic movie.
Yep.
I don't mind it in other movies, but if it's not advertised as a romantic movie, I don't mind it. Like, I'll watch it, but then to a certain point, I'm like, all right, what's going on?
And I can't remember what the trailers look like, but if you think this movie is like, hey, people are going around killing people, and you got to figure out who the killer is, and that is exactly what the movie is, but there is barely any killing. So don't think of it as like, oh, there's just somebody just going around taking people out.
Oh, so here's another the God Butcher situation.
Yep. You don't
kill one person, then we're just gonna talk about how he killed everybody else.
It's you don't kill this person, then we're gonna talk about how this guy loves this girl and it was like once it gets to I don't know where the beginning and the middle. After a while, it gets good though. Like I was invested.
So question. What made you want to see it? Did you go just because it was out, or did you see the trailer and you were actually interested in seeing it?
I was interested because, you had these Native Americans who people came in and then all the Native Americans started dying. So I thought it is kind of a whodunit, even though it's very obvious. And I'm not saying it like, I'm just tooting my own horn and I figured it out. But it's like, when you think of who it is, that's probably who it is.
Well, see, here's what I'm trying to figure out. One, I was curious about that. But then two, I'm thinking back about the trailer, and like I've only seen I think a trailer and then like maybe like a small like teaser. From what I saw, it didn't make it to me. I didn't get the vibe of a whodunit. I got the vibe of like you got Leonardo DiCaprio who falls in love with this Indian woman. I don't know what his past is, but then also he's torn between being in love with her, but also beholden to like this business partner with what's
Robert De Niro?
Yeah, him. So he's kind of like being pulled between two worlds, trying to make a decision on what he's going to do because they're probably the ones running him off of land or killing him, while at the same time he's loving her. So it's kind of like, well, that's the vibe I got from the trailer, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
That is pretty much what it is, and I mean, the Native Americans, they are like, they even go to Congress and everybody's like, we need to figure out who's killing us. So there is some whodunit to it.
Okay, cool. Speaking of whodunits, have you watched what's the sequel to Death on the Nile?
Haunting in Venice.
Yeah.
I did. I watched it when I was sleepy and I was struggling. I ended up reading the end.
I was gonna say, did you go back and watch it again, or you just do you know?
No, I need to. I want to go back and watch it. It was. I didn't like it visually. I don't know. It in my mind, it's dark and blurry. Like it's not very. It's not presented very well, and it could be low budget. It could be a lot of things, but I just there was a lot of things that took away from the movie for me.
Like the whole movie was dark.
Yeah, I can't think of it ever being like it might have been. It might have been. No, I don't think it was ever like daytime at all.
So okay, another question. So being that you read ahead and you know what happens, based on what you read, is it at least interesting enough for you to be like, I at least want to see that visually to see how it plays out, or are you just satisfied with the information?
Normally, I think I would be satisfied, but just because I watched all the Death on the Niles, the Glass Onions, and other. I think there's one more franchise, but I just want to watch it. And part of me did enjoy the supernatural aspect, and I think that's mainly what it is. I want to know. I know for a fact there is no supernatural with these movies. It's like, oh, there is some kind of explanation, but I just want to see. I want to see that part.
It kind of reminds me of, and I don't know if you'll get this reference because I don't know if you've seen all of them. Well, I think this was the first one. It kind of puts me in the mind of the Sherlock Holmes movie with Robert Downey Jr., where it's like the whole movie you got this guy who comes back from the dead, and everybody he's trying to, but at the end it's like, oh, he sprinkled some sulfur. Put a little explosive over here.
I think his name was like Blackburn or something.
Yeah, something like that. It was Black something.
So I remember, Paranormal Activity. I love Paranormal Activity 1 and 2. Then the third one came out, and then it was explained that, some people, there was like not witches, but there were people who were dabbling into the occult. And I was like, okay, that took away from the movie. And I don't, looking back on it, I don't understand why I didn't like that, but I really just don't, hey, they just walked into this house and then they got possessed. And I like that more than I made a deal with the devil and now my kids are suffering for it.
Yeah. I don't care for those types of movies. I don't. Like, when I saw, I'm not going to lie, there's been 2 movies, well, I guess you say 3. 3 scary movies that I saw the trailer for that piqued my interest. However, I knew I was never going to watch them. The Nun 2. Not that I feel like it was going to be a great movie. Just visually, it was probably going to be interesting. Yeah. The new Exorcist movie. And then what's the one with the family? The Conjuring.
Devil Made Me Do It.
Yeah. There was one scene in particular in the trailer that made me like, oh, that's interesting. It was like when she was on the cliff or whatever. And I was like, And then I was like, immediately after, I was like, I'm probably never going to watch it.
Did we talk about The Exorcist?
You briefly told me about it off, but not on the podcast. We talked about it, me and you. You told me, I can't remember what you said. You didn't tell me, you didn't go into detail, but I think you said it was for you.
Yeah, so it's been out for a while. It's not been doing very well, and it wasn't a very good movie. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say spoilers. I would assume that I know you're not gonna watch it.
No.
So the part that I feel like they were like this part in particular is the reason that they even made the movie is toward the end. Well, first of all, there are two little girls that are possessed. I don't know if that was displayed in the trailer, but there are 2 of them.
Well, okay. Backtrack. Since we're doing spoilers, question: how is this one connected to the other ones, or is it?
Just the mother of the first child is in this movie.
Okay, that's it. She just walks by. Hey guys, I was in the original.
You know, with these horror movies, people got to do their research.
Oh, so she's a computer screen. Gotcha.
She wrote a book. Oh, because
Nothing. It's not even worth explaining. Once you said she wrote a book, she wasn't in it that much.
Yeah. So two of the girls got possessed, and they're sitting in the chairs back to back, and they're trying to do this exorcism, and they're like, no, don't touch the girls, blah 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 blah. And then so one of the girls, they were like, you have to choose. They told both of the fathers, both of the families, they said you have to choose who lives and who dies. And one thing I did like about the movie is early on, once the girls were taken, the black guy was a level-headed one.
That's what you told me about. I remember now.
The black guy was a level-headed one, and the white family was just angry and just going at the black guy. And that was a very different take on what Hollywood usually does. So they usually make the black, whether it be woman or man, person to be the aggressive and violent one. So he was very calm. And I just realized who it was because I was watching. I went to somebody's house, and I just at my girlfriend's house, and we were watching. I wasn't watching it because I didn't know Hamilton, and Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr, sir, Leslie Odom, or Leslie,
yeah. So
whatever
it
his
is.
name is.
I can remember. So yeah, Aaron Burr. And I was like, hey, what do I know him for? Anyway, Leslie Odom was the main character in The Exorcist. So at the end, there was like you have to choose between one of us, who lives and who dies. And I was like, oh. This isn't usually how exorcism movie goes. So I felt like that was the whole reason they were like, you know what? We can just glaze over the fact that this is a horrible movie because this part is different. Yeah.
So what would you give it?
Oh my. Okay. No more than a. I want to say no more than a 5.
You know what I feel like, James? At this point in time, and I'm not trying to copy other people, but I'm only saying this because I know you personally. I just want to preface that.
Okay.
And because I know you watch so many movies, I can't tell you last time I went to see Barbie at the theater. That's probably the last time I went to go to this.
Right.
I feel like at this point in time, especially now that we are, I guess, quote unquote, have a platform. I feel like you should come up with your own movie ranking system.
Ranking, okay, yep.
Instead of just being like a 1 out of 5 or a 1 out of 10, I feel like at this point you need your own James movie buff. I give it 4 whatever's out of, you know what I'm saying? I feel like you need that at this point in time.
Okay, I can come up with something because usually it's like from you got okay, good, perfect, and then you got okay, bad, unwatchable, pretty much.
So kind of like a Jeremy Jahns thing. You know what Jeremy Jahns is? So he's this guy. He's on YouTube. I don't know if you'll watch this, but he reviews stuff too. And so his system is kind of like it's not like a number system. It's more so like good time without alcohol, good time with alcohol, or barely remember it, the next day, or like certified I'm going to buy the DVD type of thing. So it's kind of like that. It's not like a number. It's just like how he feels with each movie.
People love to do tier lists on YouTube. So what I can do is, I don't know, divide it between quarters or just do like a whole year. So just do a year or tier list for the year. Like I said, perfect or close to it, which a lot of movies aren't going to be. But, there maybe be 1 or 2 per year that get up there.
I feel like it's hard to get a perfect in your mind, Jeff.
Man, just like 2022, last year, was it 20? I think so. Barbarian and the Menu, they were killing it with that year. And I know 2...
Didn't... Or was that 21?
It might have been 2021.
No, I'm trying to figure out what year did everything almost come out?
Same year, because those are my top ones, and that was like yep.
Okay.
Yep. Which it was, I agree. Like for some, I agree. For some, I think just because it was weird. It's why I didn't like have it all the way up there.
That kind of brought it down a little bit.
Yeah.
I can get that.
But it was still good. I really liked it.
I feel like that's a different. If we were doing a number thing, it would be a difference between like a 10 and like a 9.7. Like it's still great, but it's not fully. That those little things could have brought it down some for you. I get that.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of movies, I mean, we can either get into it, or do you got any other movies you want to review?
I was going to say Five Nights at Freddy's. I knew when I found out it was PG-13 that it was going to be bad, but I didn't realize it was going to be this bad. It was shoot. I mean, listen, if you don't like scary movies, if you're a kid, this is probably one of the most easiest scary movies for anybody to get into. This is not scary at all.
So, question from a person who hasn't seen it: have you played the game before watching it?
No, but I have seen people on YouTube play it.
Okay, so based on your knowledge of the game of what you've seen, is this movie is it a good representation, or is it kind of far off, or?
So, the gameplay that I've seen, they don't necessarily move. You know, it's more like you're watching computer screens, or you're doing this, you're doing that, and then they might pop up. So, they don't really even pop up in this movie. It's more like, hey, I'm here being creepy, and then next thing you know, I'm not here being creepy anymore. And then like they'll show them stepping on the floor, but it's not. I don't know. Chica moves. Chica moves. I think Foxy moves.
I don't know who those people are, but I'm listening. Yeah.
Just from like it's so I mean you can't just have a person just like pop up. So I can understand them having them move, but it's just not scary.
Gotcha. Okay. It puts me in the mind of like a after hours Chuck E. Cheese.
Yep.
It's like you don't know what happens after Chuck E. Cheese shuts down. That's when the real fun happens.
There was one part in the whole movie that I was like, oh, that actually looked kind of nice, even though it was just shadows.
I got you. Would you? I feel like we talked about this. Would you ever consider doing like a horror short film?
Yes.
I know you want to do movies, but like specifically horror short films, like a 10, 13 minute, maybe 15, 30 at the most.
Knowing me, I would probably shoot for 13, 15, and it'll end up being a lot longer. But yeah, I would love to.
Okay.
I just got to think of what an original would be. I got to come up with something original.
Yeah.
What about you? If you were to make a movie, what would your movie be?
But like a genre?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Probably some kind of like not sci-fi, but like fantasy type. Something like it'd probably just be all over the place. Honestly, I don't really know. Like, cause I feel like my first thought is to say, kind of like a suspense thriller or kind of like a whodunit, because those are what I like the most. But I don't know how well I would do at those. But then I know with fantasy, it could be anything. Plus, I've already had like dreams about movies that are fantasy, so I just feel like if I just did those, but you know, I ain't no CGI person. So,
You know, if I think Marvel was missing something. They're missing not character, but heart in their movies. You know, it's very throw a whole bunch of money at it and just give me like a big bombastic movie. And while, you know, Blumhouse, they have low budget movies and they don't necessarily do well, but because Marvel is such a big property, if you try to approach it from a low budget standpoint and just come up with something that has heart, they could probably make a lot of money on something like that. They're missing out with all these, hey, let's just make this new character and do this and do that. I think they're missing out. It doesn't have to look low budget, but like Iron Man. Iron Man 1 was supposedly low budget.
well, no, I'm not even thinking about the low budget part. I'm thinking about the heart part, because I feel like some of them have heart. Me personally, I feel like, because this is just the only one I can think of off the top of my head. It's not really a movie, but like I feel like Miss Marvel had heart, but that was more so like her and the family, which I connected to.
Okay.
I feel like Hawkeye, to a certain degree, had heart because it was like his bond between him and the girl. Story wise, could have been better. Loki, I feel like has a lot of heart. So I feel like me personally, I feel like when it comes to Marvel, I feel like the issue, if I had to pinpoint an issue that they're having right now, I think they painted themselves in a corner, which it's a good issue to have, but at the same time, it's causing them some issues because they painted themselves in a corner because they got to this point to where like everything has to connect and touch on everything, and then also, but at the same time, it's like you're trying, which it's comic books, right? So in the comic book world, a character can go on forever. In the real world, this character can only do so many movies because they get older. Yep. They got other stuff going on. So eventually, either they're not gonna do it anymore, or you're gonna have to get rid of them. So then you got to introduce other people, yep. Which is gonna be hard because everybody has endeared themselves to this cast. Where it's like we like them, but now they got to go away, and it's kind of hard to just transition to these random people that most people already don't know. So you got to kind of attach real quick, while trying to still build the story and go, because you already did the whole build up. We've already saved the world. We've already saved the galaxy. What do you do at this point? So It's like, I feel like Marvel, I'm not going to say they moved too fast because they did it over so many amount of time. But at the same time, it's kind of like, you've done so well and made the picture so broad to a certain point. Now it's kind of like, where do you go? And everybody's like, what's next? They're just like, Kang. That's where we go, Kang. And
I know you wanted to go somewhere, but two things came out. They want to bring back Iron Man and Scarlett Johansson, but her Black Widow. They want to bring back Iron Man and Black Widow, and then the other thing came out that they were thinking about replacing Kang with Doctor Doom. So me personally, I'm not saying I don't want them to replace Kang. I don't, because you've already gone down this route. So I think the story would be horrible, whatever they're going to come up with, why Dr. Kang is no longer the big threat, and now Dr. Doom is, unless Dr. Doom solves the threat himself. But if he does that, then why was Kang ever a threat to begin with?
Sad question. This is just the thought that I just had just now. Why does there have to be a big threat?
It doesn't,
you get what I'm asking?
Yeah, it does. So traditionally, it hasn't had to be. Marvel, the MCU was the people that did that, that made that the thing. So even when the MCU first started, there was no big threat. It was just like, hey, we have Iron Man movies. You did have Loki.
But Loki wasn't really a big threat though. He was kind of like what led to a big threat.
Yeah. So I think just because I guess it's what people expect from comic book movies.
Yeah.
They got the crossovers and they want to see them get together.
I guess because I guess the reason why I'm asking the question, because like I agree with you that Marvel did it to themselves because they made it to where it built up to a big threat, which I feel like it's too late to pull it back and say, we don't have to have a big threat. But I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm just kind of like, even with Kang, right? Let's say you do the Kang, he's multiple whatever variants or whatever, right? Can't that just be not necessarily him being a big threat to where like he has to lead to something, as opposed to he's just somebody who just constantly shows up messing up stuff, or his variants are just always popping up, creating chaos, but it doesn't have to lead to like a big culmination of something.
So I'm thinking, I like the idea, and if they could have spread that across, 3 different, phases as they did before, then that could have worked. I think if they tried to jump into it too quickly and they announced Kang pretty much to be the big bad of Phase 5, and they just tried to capitalize on that too quickly. They introduced all these people in Phase 4, and now we got to make all of them go to Kang. So If maybe they slowly introduced Kang, and I think Quantumania really messed it up as well. Yeah, they could have been better.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I will. My only pushback would be, and this is, I'm just trying to look at both sides of it. My only pushback would be, and this is gonna sound whatever, but like at the end of the day, it is Marvel, and like, granted, phase 1 through 3 or phase 1 through 4, whatever it was, whatever. At the end of the day, we had no idea where it was going then, and then when we finally got to the end, it was like, oh, that was great. So I know now it doesn't look like whatever, but like, this is probably gonna sound crazy, but let's say 5-6 years from now, we could look back and be like, man, we look like fools now because look at it. It's great. But back then, right now, we just kind of like, I don't know where they're going. What? And who is this random? I don't know. And 5 years ago, 5 years later, like, oh, it all connects. It intersects.
And even with everything that was going on with Phase 4 and how, everybody didn't like it, that's really what I think this is ultimately like. At no point did I think, oh, the MCU was going to, shut down because of this.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I feel like, they're going to right the ship, especially with, Kevin Feige trying to focus more on quality and that, like you said, 5 or 6 years down the line, we're going to have, I'm going to say quality product, but we're going to have something not necessarily on a level as Endgame, but we're going to have some direction that's actually going to actually make sense.
I will say this, not to excuse Marvel, but at the same time, it is worth mentioning. I do feel like they did have a much better planned thing. They had a better plan, right? But I think COVID kind of hindered a lot of it. So it caused a lot of stuff to get pushed back. This was probably supposed to come out before this. This wasn't supposed to come out until this. So I feel like COVID, it didn't hinder everything, but it hindered a lot of stuff that was probably supposed to be part of building everything up. So it kind of like we just had to put this out because we already made it. We can't push it. We got to put it out. So then you put it out, it's like it doesn't, like with Loki, the end of the first season, I feel like that was supposed to lead to a lot of stuff, but then a lot of stuff got pushed. So it's kind of like now everybody's just waiting. So like, how's this going to affect? No, it doesn't. They didn't talk about it.
Even with the actors and writers strike, it's pushing things back too.
Yeah.
So I mean, not only are they still recovering, well, I say still recovering, but they do have that to recover from. But what you were saying about Kang, I don't want you to feel like I just completely, missed your point. So yeah, Kang doesn't necessarily have to be the big bad. I know that's what, to me, I guess they kind of said it, when it came to Quantumania, but in my head, before Quantumania, at no point everybody was like, Kang is the new big bad. He's the new Thanos. I'm like,
I think that's what Disney. Well, I don't think Disney came out and said he was the new big bad, but they came out and was like, Kang's the new big bad, basically.
Yeah, and I never got that. Even like Quantumania, because he got beat, it's still not to the point where it's like, oh, this threat is imminent, because you got all these Kangs, this council of Kangs, and they're off somewhere. So at no point have it really become a threat yet, because if it was, I mean, I know with with Loki, the timelines have been unleashed, so they have been restrained before, but now they have the ability to come out. So at the moment, they're still in a spot where they're not a threat. I think it could still be written, like you were saying, that Kang just pops up every now and then, because obviously they're not going to go the route of trillions of Kangs just all descend on Earth at one time. They're not going to do that. I personally, even though I don't read comics, I've watched videos. I've never really thought of Kang as somebody who deserved a Thanos level kind of thing. So he could be a nuisance. He could be like the new Loki, where you had him being a nuisance to Thor in his movies, and then he was a nuisance to the Avengers in the first movie, and then he's popped up every now and then. And I think you can do something like that with Kang. And if you want to, you could probably do a big bad of somebody else, maybe Doctor Doom.
Because the way I see it, I don't know much about Kang, but the way I see it is, and like I said again, I just thought this is something I'm just thinking about now. But like, with him having different variants, if he popped up in different like movies or shows or whatever, you could use that because he's always going to be a different Kang. So it's not like it's the same Kang popping up every time. He's a different version of himself. Maybe he's different. Maybe this one is smarter. Maybe this one is more, like he has more, strength or whatever. I don't know. But like there's different ways of him to come out and be a nuisance, like you said, as opposed to, I come the same Kang again. We defeated him last time, But like I feel like he can pave the way for like a big bad coming in and taking advantage of his chaos that he has created, as opposed to him being just the end all be all.
I got it. Just the very first way you can do this. Captain America: Brave New World. I think I know they renamed it. I don't know what the new name is, but Thunderbolt Ross has to become the Red Hulk some kind of way.
I thought he already was becoming the Red Hulk.
Well, it hasn't happened. Like in the movies or the shows.
Oh, I'm just saying in general. I thought he was already planned to be.
Exactly.
Okay.
But they haven't shown us how. So maybe Kang comes from wherever he comes from, and he orchestrates that. But it doesn't work, and he's like, "It's not my time yet," and then he disappears.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah, just let's slowly sprinkle him throughout, and then all of a sudden, you know what? I'll do it myself. A Thanos moment, I know it's been done. It doesn't have to be, I'll do it myself. He doesn't have to actually say it, but it's like, I think, now we need, these, I underestimated them. I thought that their timeline, their universe would be a lot easier to take over. Now I think I need to get serious about it.
Okay.
It's basic. It's just something I just came up with right now, so we don't have to think too hard about it. But anyway, so you had something that you wanted to ask.
Yeah. So on the lines of movies and Marvel, which includes Spider-Man, this is where this came from. I was watching cutscenes and gameplay of Spider-Man 2. Have you watched it or played it?
Yeah, I haven't played it, no, but I've seen videos.
Okay. How do you feel about it so far? Like to get from what you've seen.
I want to get a PS5, but right now there's only 2 games: the new God of War and then Spider-Man 2. Of course, Wolverine is coming, but I can't justify buying a system that I'm not going to play for 3 games that I'm not going to play.
I got you, but it looks like it's a good game to you.
Most definitely.
Okay, because I think I've only watched I've watched a few people play the beginning when they fight Sandman, and which I don't know if you've seen that part yet, which is very stupid. So, but no, it's them fighting Sandman is not stupid. The part that's stupid to me is okay, so you got Miles Morales, right? He's in school.
Yep.
So the game starts off, Miles is talking to Peter, which is a clever way for them to do the recap of the previous game, because it's trying to write his college essay or whatever.
Yep.
So he's asking Peter what do I talk about myself? He's like, oh, tell him you go to this school or you such and such, all this kind of stuff, right?
I heard that part. Yep. So
it cuts to Miles at school. Peter Parker is a new teacher at Miles' school.
Okay.
First scene, right? Miles in the classroom. Teacher or the principal comes in. Hey, it's your new teacher, Peter Parker. He comes in, he's teaching class. Miles gets something's going on. Can I go to the bathroom? Peter's like, all right, cool, go to the bathroom. So Miles comes back. Hey, I need your help. Peter's like, you should be able to handle it yourself. And
Right.
he's like, nah, I think you need to see this. Okay, cool. So they both leave. They see Sandman. They go fight Sandman for a super long amount of time.
No.
So you mean to tell me they just dipped out on class? Why be a teacher?
Yeah. Especially in the same class. Well, I guess he didn't really have a choice.
Well, it's not my issue is not even the fact that he's at Miles' school. My issue is why be a teacher if you know you're gonna have to leave? Why not get a job where it's okay for you to be gone for periods of time? You can't just leave a class and you can't just leave the class and go fight somebody for 6 hours and then come back because he gets fired.
Of course.
Why choose to be a teacher?
I was gonna say, how about you do a night job, and that way you and Miles can divide the time. But that also doesn't work. Well, it does, because if you're working at night, you can be awake during the day and do your Spider-Man thing, and then sleep. In my head, it works because you have three periods of time. You have work, extracurricular, whatever you want to call them, and then sleep. So with Spider-Man, it would be work, Spider-Man, sleep. Mm-hmm. So, anyway, I'm just...
No, I get it. It makes sense. I'm just... like I said, my overall point, the reason I brought up was like, why pick a job that you need to be at?
Yes.
Like, because even if you had a night job, I feel like you can get a job to where you're not demanded to be there every minute of the shift, as opposed to like a teacher, you gotta be there. Mm-hmm. You can't just leave. Oh, hey, I will go and then come. No, these kids, somebody has to watch them. Mm-hmm. You're supposed to be teaching them.
Very stupid that first of all, so one, okay, yeah, obviously it was stupid. Peter did say, you should be able to handle it. And it is just Sandman. It's not like Sandman is Spider-Man. Peter has been fighting Spider-Man on his own for so long, and sure, Miles is still learning. I don't know. So anyway, I felt like if I was Peter, go handle that yourself.
I mean, that's what I would have did too, but
they took out not Juggernaut. Who was that? Rhino. Still needed both of them. Why do they? I guess because we can't just have Miles, even though we did just have them. Miles should be able to take these people out on his own. Stop being a sidekick.
Hey man, because the only explanation I could say would be Miles. Even though Miles should be able to do it, he's still somewhat in training.
Yeah, but it can't be in training forever. And I know. I hear you. We did just get introduced to him. He had his DLC. So I mean, I guess right. So you had let's just say these were movies. You had Miles was like not necessarily the damsel, but he was Luke Skywalker. He met Obi-Wan Kenobi. At the end of the movie, he didn't have to really use his powers. Like he didn't have to fight, but he just had a situation where he did something. So now the second movie, he is in training to actually become a Jedi. So I see. This is like Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, because like I said, even though he has the ability and the capabilities to fight for himself, he still has to learn those nuances, like because he doesn't have the experience that Peter has. Which I mean, it's just. But anyways, I say all that to say this. From what I saw, seems like a great game.
Yes.
Makes me somewhat disappointed about the Craven movie, but that's neither here. Did you see? I don't know how true this is.
I forget all about Craven.
I don't know how true this is. I saw, because you know how people be posting stuff on YouTube, or they be talking about stuff on YouTube. I just saw a thumbnail, rather about to say a screenshot, a thumbnail. I didn't watch the video, but there's a guy on YouTube, and here's a thumbnail basically talking about how it's confirmed that Venom is going to fight Spider-Man in the next movie.
Okay.
Again, I haven't listened to it, nor have I read anything about it. Per the thumbnail, that's what it says.
Okay.
Could be true. It could be a whole bunch of malarkey. I don't know.
So we're not talking about the new Craven movie. That's something different, right?
Well, no, it just made me think about that because, like, you have a Craven movie coming out, which, like I said, based on the Spider-Man 2 game, I'm disappointed because, like, you have Craven who is hunting, or eventually going to start hunting Spider-Man, which I don't know much about the comics, but that's supposedly a big, thing in the Spider-Man comic books.
Would you like me to tell you how that ends?
Yeah, Spider-Man does some Spider-Man stuff. Craven does some Craven stuff. I really don't care.
Okay.
It's Craven the Hunter. I mean, it's either going to happen one of two ways. Craven is going to hunt Spider-Man. He's going to eventually catch him, kill him, or they become friends. Or Spider-Man's going to go get overwhelmed. He's like, I can't figure this guy out. He eventually overcomes the obstacle, beats Craven. There's not too many options that can happen.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but I thought about that when I thought about the thumbnail because it was like, one, I want Spider-Man in the Craven movie, which I'm not going to get. And then two, I just thought about, it was like, now we're on this is the third movie? Third Venom movie?
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what you said. I forgot all about Venom. I thought you were talking about the Spider-Man movies.
Oh, no, it's supposedly, well, like I said, again, according to the thumbnail that I haven't researched, in the third Venom movie, Spider-Man is supposed to be fighting Venom.
Okay.
Again, don't know if it's true. Could be malarkey. I don't know. Just thought I would mention it.
So I know, the original plan was for him to have like 6 people or so for him to fight.
Who, Venom?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And eventually, if they have the Spider-Man property, Venom does have Spider-Man-like powers. So eventually, Venom has to get Spider-Man powers. So they do have to fight. But the question is, are they going to fight in Venom's third movie, or are they going to wait for all of them to come out, which is probably not going to happen because of how bad the movies are. So Morbius, Venom, Craven, and then we need like 3 more. So who are the other 3 going to be?
You got Madam Web movie.
Okay.
I'm just telling you what was coming out.
Yeah, I don't know what villain they're going to introduce that they're going to put in the Sinister Six. Like those villains tend to not be involved in other things.
I think there's also like I think it's a TV show. It's like Scarlet and somebody.
I know Silver Sable and Black Cat. They canceled that.
I thought they rejuvenated it.
Oh, that could be.
That's the last thing I heard. It was the talks were back on. So.
Okay.
Because I remember they mentioned it like a while back. They were going to do it, but then it got canceled. But I feel like I just heard something recently about them at least talking about it.
So
that means it's going to happen, but
Silver said so. To me, you would think like just based on the 2 people and their powers that Black Cat would be more interesting. I probably would watch a Silver Sable movie more than I would Black Cat. I don't really care for either of them.
I don't know anything about either one of them.
Silver Sable is more like a Winter Soldier kind of person. She's a guns assassin kind of guy, and Black Cat just has the powers of a cat.
Speaking of which, and I know this is completely unrelated, but it's related at the same time. It's because there's 2 people that I had no knowledge of, no prior knowledge of, but I thoroughly enjoyed the show when it came out. It was Cloak and Dagger.
I remember season 1, and that was low budget. I did not like it.
I don't remember season 2. I just remember I watched season 1. I said this way. I went into it. It was like, tell me about these guys, and I was like, I wasn't like, oh, this is the greatest show ever, but I was like, I'll watch this. I continue watching. Like, I at least got to the point to where like I was at least excited for the next episode because I was curious to see what's going to happen. But it wasn't like, oh, it just blew my socks off. Where have they been my whole entire life? I wasn't that.
I think my issue with that was that you had the X. What was it? Was like an X-Men show, but it wasn't X-Men. It was a mutant show. But it had
The Runaways?
No, not that one. But that wasn't Fox. So Fox had I want to say.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Was it Gifted? I think it was Gifted.
Yeah, because it was like a brother and sister had powers or something like that.
Yeah. So they had a couple shows going on, and they didn't.
That was a good show too.
Yeah, and I was watching all of them, but then it's like once. I don't know, the MCU or something, but they were like, okay, well, these don't mean anything. That's why I just like, all right, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't finish Gifted.
Yeah, it was. I was watching it
again. Again, another show where like it wasn't spectacular, but it kept my interest enough for me to want to watch it continually.
And I did like the fact that I was being introduced to characters I didn't know anything about.
Yeah, I think the only reason I didn't finish it was like most things. I'm watching so much stuff, so like I start watching something else and I never go back, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. Like, there's a lot of shows I hadn't finished, like Quantico. I used to really love the show Quantico, but then I started watching something else and I just never went back to it.
Yeah.
So I'll say all that to say this. Brings me to the main question that I have for you.
Okay.
So, per the Spider-Man 2 game.
Yes.
I watched it. Seems like a great game. I would love to play it, but I don't have a PlayStation. If you had to pick a game, or if you had to pick another, I don't want to say MCU, we'll just say Marvel, because it gives you a Marvel character to base a game on, who would you pick?
All right. So I was going to bring it back until you said to say all this. One thing I do absolutely love, and I hope they put this in every game going forward, Spider-Man 2 has fast travel anywhere. It's not just points. You can just pick a spot on the map and you can fast travel to it. I freaking love it. All right, so the character. This is kind of a cop-out because they're actually doing a game about him already, and it's the same people, but Wolverine. Now, I personally was never, am not like a big Wolverine fan, but back in college, X-Men Origins Wolverine, which was somewhat based on a movie, came out, and I love that game.
I remember that game.
Man, that game, and it like it was. There's very few games where I like I'm just playing it nonstop. I say that back in the day it was. I had a lot more time, but I love that game, and I think Wolverine has a lot of potential.
I have one scene that I remember from the game X-Men Origins, right?
Okay.
Did you play the entire game?
Oh yeah.
So you may remember this scene. You may not. I don't know. It's because it's not a big scene. It's a very minute detail from the game. I just have a visual of Wolverine trying to run up a waterfall.
Like it wasn't frozen.
It was like the water was running. And he had to jump from. I don't know if it was you playing it or something. I maybe watching somebody else play it. But he had to jump up a waterfall because he was trying to get away from some people.
I think I do remember that. Yeah,
that's the only memory I have of that game.
I was watching a video on it because somebody was like doing a retro, review on it, and I was like, oh, I remember. I didn't remember everything, but I was like, oh, I remember this scene. I remember that scene. I didn't get too far, but I love that game.
So that's your cop-out answer.
Yep. The next person that comes to mind, and I know it doesn't have anything because I just put two and two together. The Origins, X-Men Origins, the next person they thought about doing was Storm. So that's not the reason I was going to her, but I think Storm is underutilized. The problem is that she's an Omega level mutant. So how do you start somewhere with her, and then progress to this just like she should be badass from the beginning.
So would you make it a young Storm game?
And that's what I was just thinking as I was saying that, like somebody who's not sure if you can. Yes. So mutants can they are tracked down by these people, so you have to kind of hide your powers. So yeah, it can be just somebody who's trying to make their way to Charles Xavier. I know Charles Xavier goes to find people. I don't know how he found Storm, but that could be the whole thing. She's trying to make her way to Charles Xavier, but she has to be low-key. But
I still feel like she deserves a solo movie.
Listen, there's this comic going out right now. I'm not going to talk about the Sins of Sinister because she it goes 1,000 years into the future, but she's still alive. I may be unclear about that, but I remember there was this big gigantic Sentinel, which is not the Sins of Sinister. It's another. I don't like the Fall of X. What's going on right now? I know I'm just speaking gibberish right now.
So, I get it. I've heard some of those names before.
Yeah. So I think I know there's a war going on, and she's like leading some mutants. And this person, it's not Sebastian Shaw, but somebody sends a very big creature after her, and it's like think of it as a kaiju.
Okay.
And Storm is unfazed. Unfazed. So what she does is she makes the air cold, gets this big old icicle, and just drops it straight into this monster's skull.
So what you're telling me is she doesn't have the kaiju electrocuted by lightning and says some snarky comment.
No.
What happens when a frog gets electrocuted?
By lightning, struck by lightning.
Yeah, something like that.
No, we're not doing that kind of story.
All right, Halle Berry.
The same Halle Berry that did, Catwoman.
I prefer her Storm over Catwoman.
Agreed.
However, she was sexier as Catwoman.
That is true, because there was too much leather.
I don't know if it was too much. It was enough. But when she was Storm, you couldn't really.
Yep.
I don't want to say a woman's figure is all, but I'm just saying.
Yep.
Yeah. And plus, she was bending over backwards. And all right, Holly.
So, if you were to make a game.
Well, I have a follow-up question first. A follow-up question. So, since those are your two, you kind of. Well, no, you really didn't give me the answer to the Storm one. But who would your villains be like in the games? Who would they be against?
Okay. And now, so I wasn't completely, I guess, the thing about Storm, I'll get to your question, is I think the problem that they have with Superman. Superman is so overpowered that how do you... So I'd have to come up with somebody else. And obviously Deadpool would be fun, but Deadpool had a game, and nobody liked it. I think you liked it.
I was about to say, I think I liked it, but it also kind of tainted me on the Deadpool as well because I think that came out before the movie, I think it did come out before the movie. So when the movie came out and he didn't teleport, I was just like, why is he not teleporting? Can he not teleport? When does he learn to teleport? The second movie came out, I was like, oh, clearly he's going to teleport now. No teleporting?
No.
He doesn't teleport?
No.
But he teleports in the game.
Yeah.
Why is he not teleporting?
This ain't my Deadpool.
Because that teleport saved my life so many times in the game.
Right.
The movie, I was like, yeah, no teleport? You're not going to teleport? I just wanted him to at least say the word teleport. No, he didn't say it.
All right. So for Wolverine, Sebastian, I think that's his name, but
I feel like that's obvious.
yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I don't want to go that route. I can't think. What is his name? Sabretooth. Mm-hmm. So Omega Red. I don't know any villain. I don't know many villains that's Wolverine specific, but I know Omega Red is one. And I know he fights with the Hulk. But me, I don't want Hulk being a villain. You could, if Hulk becomes a villain, more than just Wolverine is going after him. Mm-hmm. So Omega Red is, to me, like when you think about his powers, he should be a bigger villain than he is.
Yeah.
So
I have a thought, but I'll let you finish.
okay. So I think he'd be great. I just don't know what the story would be.
Mm. So for those who don't know who Omega Red is, who's Omega Red?
That's what I thought. Okay. So
I mean, that's not my thought, but I'm just curious.
So Omega Red is I want to say I'm pretty sure he's a mutant. So he's from Russia, and think pretty much a Russian Wolverine, but not exactly.
Oh, I've seen him before.
Yeah, he's got white skin, yellow hair. He's kind of a metallic body. But what he does, he has like tendrils that come from him. He has a healing factor, and he has spores. Spores causing anybody that inhales it to, I believe, do what he wants them to do.
Mm. Yeah, I played with. Once you said that, I've played with him on the Marvel's contest game. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I knew. So I knew I had heard the name before, but I couldn't put a picture to it. But now that I know exactly what you're talking about now.
Yeah.
The thought I had was if you did a Wolverine game and asked you who the villain would be, Wolverine's villain would be Jean Grey's friend zone.
Oh my goodness!
The whole game he's trying to get out of the friend zone.
That's good. You can, to be honest, you can make that be the build up to a sequel. That's so funny.
No, Wolverine, I really like you. I swear that was his whole purpose in the X-Men movies. It was like, I like that Jean Grey.
I understand why they did it though. They love interest for a main character.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Because every single movie that he had a love interest. You know, they had the Asian person and the origins, and then
Yeah.
I want to say she was Japanese.
I'm not gonna lie though. Like, speaking of that origins movie, I feel like maybe it's just my memory being clouded. I feel like the fight with that giant samurai with a sword is underrated. Like I feel it's a lot better than people led on to be, or like they believe it to be.
So, okay, you're pointing out something that I may have gotten wrong. So that's the Wolverine, and I know.
Okay, that's what I said. I couldn't remember. Yeah.
So I don't know if he actually I don't think he had a love interest in X-Men Origins. So yeah, let me clarify. The movie we're both talking about is The Wolverine. But yeah, I definitely, so Silver Samurai, I thought that was good. I enjoyed that fight. The movie altogether wasn't necessarily good, but
Oh yeah, no, the movie and the story was kind of it was kind of okay, but like that fight scene, and then the fight scene when he was trying to get to the building, and all the ninjas were shooting him with the arrows or whatever. Mm-hmm. He had all the arrows in his back. I was like, okay, all right. But like as far as the story goes, I didn't really care. I care less.
Yeah.
So now you got me thinking of X-Men Origins. Is that the one where Sabretooth broke his claws?
I don't remember, but I know Deadpool was the fused mouth with long swords coming out of his arms. And what's his name? The singer will.i.am, he was Wraith.
And then they had the Blob
yep,
too.
I was just about to say that. Yep. I don't remember. I know Sabretooth was in it, but I just don't remember anything about him. No,
I think that was it, because that was the beginning, because they were part of a team in the beginning. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then he got out because Sabretooth came to find him. So he did have a love interest. He had the chick who she like basically mind wiped him or whatever, because Sabretooth killed her.
Gotcha.
But then come to find out she was a part of it all along.
That does sound familiar.
Because that's when he went back. Because I think what happened was they were part of a team, and then Sabretooth killed her. So then that's when he went back to go track down the rest of the team to find out what happened. Yep. Or something like that. Yeah.
I don't know who would be the villain for Storm. I just think of X-Men villains. So, I mean, to me, it's going to be real simple. It'd probably have to be the person who's. I can't remember what the name of that group is, but the people who are against mutants.
That's what I was about to say. Because if you're doing a young Storm trying to get to Professor X, trying to get to the school, it could be something as simple as like some seedy organization trying to capture her because they find out about her powers. Maybe they predict she's going to be coming Omega, and they're trying to stop her because they know if she gets to him, he could train her or something. It could be just something as simple as that.
Another problem with that is that, hand to hand, she's not really hand to hand. So I don't know how you're just going to these grunts, these little people that's coming. I don't know. So maybe I don't think Storm is a compelling. She's too. I feel
like you talked yourself into it and out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, here. How about you? And I'll think of somebody else.
Well, here's the thing. My person isn't hand to hand either, but I'm definitely gonna pick him.
Okay. All right.
Doctor Strange.
Interesting. Okay. So with him, I don't know. Because you need like little waves of people to kind of throw at somebody just to make, because you can't. I don't know. So, because I in my head I was thinking you can make a completely different game. It doesn't have to be hand to hand. You can just make it just a different kind of genre altogether.
Well, it definitely be magic based to where like you have to level up your magic, because I feel like he would start off with at least. I feel like it would kind of not follow the movie per se, but it would at least. The beginning of it would be him getting to Karmatage or whatever it's called. Mm-hmm. And he learns like the basics, at least enough to kind of open portals and stuff to where he can kind of get rid of like some low level people. And of course, once you level up your magic, you can do more and more. But I just feel like it would be a trippy game, but at the same time amazing. Especially if you throw in the Inception kind of stuff too.
Yeah, I think he would be, easier than Storm. And I mean, you can give Storm probably an icicle spear or something. But, there's artifacts that Strange could use, and he can, like, take some whips, like bands of Sidorak, and, like, spin around. And
no, I'm listening.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm sure you can make it, anyway, go ahead.
I would say, or you could do Storm like old girl from Gen V. The Blood Girl.
Oh, okay.
Where at her base she knows how to control like the water inside of people, or like water in general, to enough to where she can, like said, maybe she could throw like an icicle or two, but then once of course she evolves, she could create actual storms and lightning.
The question: can you do that inside?
Inside a body?
No, inside a building. Like I know you can tear something up, but just if you're just, because I mean when it comes down to it, Storm doesn't really want to hurt or kill people. Mm-hmm. So
Perspiration, water and pipes.
Oh well, yeah. Well, okay. Then I mean, okay. Now you're getting into like deeper things. Like, is she? Does she control the element of water, or is she strictly like just weather? Because like you can like, what's the word? Specify her powers to with a lot of different people.
Well, the way I can see it is like at her base, she can control the temperature of water to make it whatever and move it how she wants to. And then of course it evolves into like the elements in general.
Okay. Now you're getting into like the morale system, where she good or bad. She can turn evil, messing with people and possibly killing people. That could be a thing. I like it.
That's how you play the game.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
I don't know who my villain would be for Doctor Strange though, because I feel like it would be, what's the guy's name from the first movie?
Caecilius.
Yeah. But I don't know though, because but at the same time I do kind of feel like they left a lot on the table with him. So because I mean he was at Comitage a lot longer than Doctor Strange was, so I imagine he should be more formidable than he was in the movie.
Agree.
But at the same time, I felt like, they needed to get rid of him in order to move past it.
I mean, he's got some. I mean, if you do more than just like hand to hand, you've got a lot bigger threats. So you got Dormammu, you've got.
But we got to get there though.
Yeah, I know.
Because I don't even know who's Doctor Strange's Joker. Is it Dormammu?
I don't know. Every time I see a video of him, he's always teaming up with other people to fight things that's not as. Brother Voodoo. Listen, okay, I'm sorry. I want Brother Voodoo.
Is that his Joker?
No, that's that. He's also a good guy, but that's just who I want to. Marvel. I don't care about any other character besides a Blade, and I want Brother Voodoo. And I know they're two black characters, but still.
I mean, they might as well do Detective Chimp.
Oh my goodness! Why'd you go from black to monkey?
I didn't intend it to do that way.
Hey, Larry.
I mean, speaking of which, I still have yet to watch the what's the show? Is it on Hulu?
I know there's Hit Monkey on
Hit
Hulu.
Monkey. I haven't watched. I completely forgot about that show.
Is that Marvel related?
No, I think that's DC.
I know Detective Chimp is DC.
Yeah, Detective Chimp is definitely DC. Hit Monkey is it's Marvel.
I didn't know if that was just like an original, or because I know what's that the MODOK guy. I know MODOK happened, and then I think Hit Monkey happened at the same time. So I didn't know if Hit Monkey was Marvel, or if that was just something original.
No, it's Marvel.
Okay.
Of course, didn't connect anything. But yeah, I completely forgot about this show. I'm gonna go watch that now. I forgot all about that show. It's the day, James. It's too much.
Yep, I agree.
And I don't know, I can't speak for you, because I know you, when it comes to TV, you 2-3 episodes, if I don't get it, I'm out. But for me, if it's a show that I'm at least mildly interested in, I want to see it through to the end. Because even if the show isn't great, there's at least something for me to grasp on. Like, I at least am interested to see what happens with this. And then I go to the next episode. But I feel like to a certain degree, some things I have to finish. Like, I know it'll be a while, but I have to go back and finish The Flash.
I don't think I'm going to.
Because it's 10 seasons? I think I'm on 9 right now, or 8 or 9.
I want to say 9 was the last one.
It's what I just know this the last season that came out, and then there's the season before that came out. I started the season before the last season came out, whatever number that is. I don't know, but I have yet to finish it. I'm just kind of like, I won't. In all honesty, I checked out when old buddy left. What's his name? The sidekick.
Cisco?
Yeah. Once he left, I'm just kind of like, eh.
I remember it was rumored that he was, thinking about leaving, and I thought he didn't leave, but I guess he did.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, he hadn't came. Well, I mean, I haven't seen the rest of the seasons, but they had a whole farewell episode for him and everything, and then he was gone because they replaced him with another. They replaced him with a smart black guy.
And that's not Mr. Terrific, because that's Arrow. Mm-hmm. Okay.
There was some because it was like they had like there was a couple seasons, a season or so before Cisco left. There was some smart black guy who's like he's real intelligent. They caught him building weapons. He built something.
I know.
And they froze him.
Yep.
And then they thawed him out. And then he ended up working with them. And then Cisco left. And now he's pretty much kind of like the new Cisco.
I remember that. Yeah.
So he's cool. I like him. But, again, it's just don't have the same. Because even with Arrow, like, once people started, I didn't really leave. But it's just something about Arrow changed. I don't know. I know I got tired of going back to that daggum island.
Yeah. So
They went to the island like 4 or 5 times.
season 3 is when I started getting bored of Arrow because it's like it became, and all the CW DC shows are pretty formulaic, but it's like, hey, I'm out of costume, but at night I'm going to be in costume, and we're just going to have this by the numbers fight scene.
Yeah.
And then we're just going to keep going by the numbers fight scene. It just got the same thing every episode.
The best season of Arrow to me was with Slade. Or Deathstroke.
Yeah.
That was like the best. To me, that was the peak of Arrow.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Especially when he killed his mom like right in front of him. I was like, this is don't get no better than this.
Good story and everything. Yeah.
It's just even though they went back to the island, I was like, okay, all right. I understand we've been here 3 times, but I'll let it slide because I'm having a great time. But then it went down.
And Neil McDonough was the last season I watched of Arrow. I don't remember what season I was, maybe 4. Mm-hmm. But I do want to get these 2 out before I forget.
Video games?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Iron Man, obviously, he has the most potential of like starting from one place and going to someplace else. But I was thinking outside of Marvel, Wonder Woman. Batman has been done. Batman is great. It's obvious that it can be done great. Superman, I don't really care for. Green Arrow, just shooting arrows. I don't see any potential there. Martian Manhunter is kind of over. He's like another Superman. Aquaman. Anyway, so I hadn't thought about that. I was just bringing them up. But
Would you start her on Themyscira?
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know who the villain would be because I don't know anything about Wonder Woman.
Tigress.
Why is okay?
That's the only one I'm not saying that's what has. That's the only one I know. I don't.
And Aries.
Yeah, well, I don't. But I feel like Tigress. I feel like with Tigress you can write more of a compelling rivalry as opposed to Aries just being like, you're not supposed to be this powerful.
I'm a god. You shouldn't be able to beat me. But
at least with Tigress, I mean, granted. The movie was just whatever, but at least in the movie there was a reason. You can build a reason why why she has some kind of vendetta against Wonder Woman, as opposed to just being like, I just want to take a serum because I want to walk in heels and not be able to fall and look great.
What a movie!
Just saying. Now, if you want to do hand to hand,
okay,
Shang-Chi.
That what? Yes. That could be great. Yes.
I would play some Shang-Chi.
I agree. I don't know why, for some reason I'm giving him Iron Fist powers, but that sounds like a good idea.
I don't want to think about Iron Fist, James.
No, I know. I was just thinking, because I was trying to think, does he ever get powers? Does he do some Liu Kang fireballs or something? It doesn't matter. He's martial arts.
Well, according to the Marvel Contest of Champions games I play, he has some stuff. He has some little glowy, little whatever martial arts stuff that he can do. Like, I don't know if that's comic book accurate or what, but he got some little powered up stuff he can do.
I forgot all about Shang-Chi, and I know Simu Liu had got injured. Something happened to him.
Oh, I don't know. I ain't heard anything about that.
Yeah, he got injured some kind of way.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited for a sequel to that.
If it happens with this injury, I don't know. I can't remember what it was.
Well, I mean, his movie wouldn't be coming out to about 2027 anyways.
Yeah,
But, so like, but I'm excited to see a sequel. See, here's my issue, James. Here's my only issue with Marvel. I feel like in order to enjoy the full totality of Marvel, I have to start eating healthy now because I need to live until 2072.
Yep.
To be able to experience everything and like, oh, I finally made it.
But the problem with that is that these comic books, even though they release like monthly or every 3 months or something like that, there's still new content being made over and over. And not only that, not only is just Marvel, you also have DC.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's ever going to end.
it's like I gotta wait. 2082. they finally redid the Justice League.
For the 18th time.
It's so great. I don't know, man. Me personally, I don't have superhero fatigue.
Okay, so I want to say I don't either, but there was something we were just talking about, and I was like, I'm not going to watch that movie. What was it?
Movie-wise?
Yeah, I feel, shoot. I don't remember. It was something we were I don't think we talked about it, but it was like I was thinking, oh, they're making this, and I'm not going to watch that, and I can't remember what it was.
I don't know. I guess the way I look at it is like this. When it comes for me, when I think of superhero fatigue, I think of like anytime something superhero related pops up, like I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm also like either I'm going to like it or I'm not going to like it. If I don't like it, I just don't like it. Mm-hmm. But I give it a shot.
Yeah. So far, like I know, just besides that one movie I'm talking about, it's obviously not that important because I don't want to. But
I know a superhero movie I'm not going to watch.
What's that?
Paw Patrol.
I watched it.
What? You go, okay. You don't have to tell me, but how do you go from not having powers to just having powers?
So it was, first of all, Taraji P. Henson voices the villain. And at first I was like, oh, I'm excited for this. And then she's putting a little, she's putting her thing on it. And I was like, okay, give me regular Taraji P. Henson voice. But obviously the only reason they're doing this is because superheroes is like a thing now. So what happens is Taraji P. Henson, spoilers.
Nobody cares. It's Paw Patrol.
Taraji P. Henson is a mad scientist. She don't like people calling her a mad scientist. But she wants to prove everybody wrong. So she's using this ray gun to pull meteors from space. So she pulls one. And, of course, Paw Patrol thwarts her plans because it's about to crash into a city. So she gets arrested, and this meteor has 7 crystals for 7 dogs in it. And these crystals give them superpowers.
Question.
Yep.
So, have you seen the previous Paw Patrol movie? Mm-hmm. Is the one dog that had the raggedy wheel still a part of the Paw Patrol?
I don't remember who had the raggedy wheel, but I know there's a new dog who's voiced by Marseille Martin.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same one, but like in the previous movie, she was like a fan of Paw Patrol.
Yep.
And then she ends up later in the movie becoming part of it because so she's still there. Okay.
She's in it, and she actually has one of the better parts. And I actually really liked her.
Okay. I saw the trailer and I was just like, what?
So she's a wiener. Wiener dog, the lone dog, like loves to. So, can you guess what her power is?
She stretches?
She stretches, yep. And the thing is, during the movie, it took me a while. I didn't figure it out. So, everybody get their powers. You have somebody who's like a cannonball, somebody who's fast, somebody who's water, somebody who's fire, blah, blah, blah. And then, the stretchy dog don't have her powers. Like, she got the crystal, but her powers haven't come out. So then they wait until this last little moment, and then she jumps off the cliff to save somebody. I was like, oh, stretchy powers. And sure enough, she stretches to hold on to the top of the cliff, It took me a while to figure it out, but I was like, it's right there. She's the long, stretchy dog. I should have guessed that easily.
So she's a Slinky dog from Toy Story.
Yep.
Okay, here's a question. I know we're all over the place. I feel like we've answered the game question, unless you had another game.
Nope.
So, I heard somebody make this statement.
Okay.
Okay. I have to ask you a qualifying question first.
Okay.
Have you seen all of Game of Thrones?
Yes.
Have you seen all of Daredevil or Netflix Daredevil?
Yes.
Okay. I think you've seen most of Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I've seen it all.
You've seen all of that?
Don't ask me to remember any of it.
Okay. This question or this statement kind of hinges on your memory of it, but not per detail of it, just overall feeling.
Yep.
So I heard a person make a statement that the ending of season 3 of Daredevil is better than Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad.
So I remember I didn't like the first half of season 2. I know this has nothing to do with season 3, and I thought season 3 overall was better than season 2. I remember I did not really care for the character who's supposed to be Bullseye, because it's like we're trying to hide the fact that he is Bullseye. To me, it just didn't work. So I didn't really care for... I don't remember how it ends. But obviously, nobody likes the end of Game of Thrones. And I didn't like Breaking Bad at all. So I'm just going to agree.
I remember you not liking Breaking Bad, which is still... I mean, hey, you rattled off 4 or 5 movies that you didn't like that I liked, so I can't be surprised.
Breaking Bad had its moments, but just the time in between those moments was very boring.
But then again, you're not a huge fan of TV shows like that.
Yeah, and I think Ozark, even if you don't count the first season of Ozark, I think Ozark is a better version of Breaking Bad. And the reason I give Ozark the nod is because it has music to get you through the darn show, as opposed to Breaking Bad. And I know that shouldn't really take away from the quality, what's going on in the show. But like if I'm just listening to I don't know, just boring.
I hear that, because I guess my position is that if I am engrossed in the show, I'm not gonna because I never noticed that there's not music in certain parts because I'm wrapped up in the show. Mm-hmm. But if you're not caught, if you're not in it, if you're not immersed, all you're gonna hear is the silence, no music, huh?
It makes a big difference, because music, kind of gives weight to the situation. So let's just say, you got this music going on, Walter White and his wife, I can't think of her name, but they're, about to get into it. So you got music going on, and then he says, "I am the one who knocks," and then the music just goes away. That gives it weight. He just made a great point. As opposed to no music, "I am the one who knocks," and then she just looking at him scared. Okay, can we keep going? What are we doing?
No, I don't. I'm not disagreeing with your point. My only pushback would be this: I feel like music tends to tell you how you should feel in certain moments, as opposed to you actually feeling what you should feel.
And it doesn't necessarily, make me feel a certain way, but it helps to. It's it's an art. Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you draw me a picture, a 5-year-old drew a picture as opposed to Picasso. Even though I'm not saying I like Picasso,
But you're saying there's a difference.
Yeah, I would be bored. Actually, okay, I'm not gonna Picasso, because I would probably enjoy a 5-year-old art than Picasso, but. Stick figures. If somebody drew, stick figures, I'm like, okay, yeah, this isn't all that great, as opposed to, somebody else, an adult who drew, So mm-hmm. There's a difference when it comes to art. And
well, like I said, I get what you're saying as far as the movie, the music adding to the moment and all of that. But like I said, I guess the only difference I can think of would be, and like specifically, take my time. Specifically with Breaking Bad, because I was so caught up in the show and what was going on, it didn't take me out of it that they didn't have music. Because it was like I was caught up in what was going on. I was intrigued by like trying to figure out like, oh, this is happening and that's happening, and this is that. So it wasn't like, So they're talking, but there's no music. Like I didn't.
And I think, and I definitely agree. Like if it's interesting, like I'm not gonna say I was interested, but enough people were interested in the show that there were great performances. That, like you said, you shouldn't notice it. Mm-hmm. But I guess I'm just so used to it that it's just something's missing.
Yeah. No, and like I said, I think for me, because now I'm just sitting there thinking, I think for me, I pay attention to the music more in movies than I do in TV shows.
Mm-hmm. I'll give you another one. Walking Dead.
I've only seen like one episode of Walking Dead.
Yeah, that one. I didn't finish it because I don't want to say it is the same. Because to be honest, like there's a lot more things in Walking Dead that I just started to not like. But that is another show that I think they don't have a lot of music in.
I couldn't tell you. I watched one episode. Granted, it was like in the middle of like a random season. But the first episode I watched, the black guy died. I was like, I'm done.
Not only that, Michael Rooker, who was Yondu in Guardians
Mary
of the Galaxy.
Poppins, you mean?
Yeah. Anyway, he was racist in the first season, and for some reason that has just always stuck with me. And I don't look at Michael Rooker the same.
Have you watched Django?
I love Django.
So you can watch Leonardo DiCaprio say the N-word 72 times in the movie, and you don't look at him differently?
Because and not only that, he married a Native American in the new movie. But I've seen Leonardo DiCaprio before. That was my first introduction to Michael Rooker.
Nah, I get you. I'm just being petty.
Yeah.
But because quiet as it's kept, I do feel like, and I think I've said this point before, not on here, but just in general, I do feel like there are certain actors who, when they see a certain role come across, they like a certain director, i.e. a Quentin Tarantino, like, I want to do that movie.
Right.
Because I get to say the N-word
and
97 times.
I'm not saying that Michael Rooker is racist, but he does say boy in every single role that he plays. He calling people boy. Boy this, boy that. It's not just black people, but...
But is that Michael Rooker or is that the script?
He could be typecast. Well, I mean, a racist white person in Walking Dead isn't the same as, a blue alien in Guardians of the Galaxy, so I can't say he's typecast.
But they could like the way he said boy in there. One thing is that we're going to put boy in there.
I feel like he probably says boy outside of movies as well.
He probably. I'm just.
Yeah.
All I can think of is Clint Eastwood. Listen here, egg roll.
Oh.
What was the name of that movie?
Gran Torino.
Yeah, Gran Torino.
And Clint Eastwood is like this respected actor. I don't know anything I haven't watched anything he's done before Gran Torino.
Oh, nothing?
Nothing. All I know is old honorary I keep wanting to call him Gran Torino.
Didn't he just have a movie about where he was like a drug mule or something like that? Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the name of it.
I think it was like The Mule.
So, you know what? It could be. I don't know why I thought Harrison Ford, but you're right. You're right. I think it was The Mule.
I think Clint Eastwood did a lot of Western movies.
Yep. Dirty Harry.
Yep. That's it.
I don't know what else.
Let's look it up. We got a little time before we finish.
I keep saying it's Pluche.
Oh, yeah. Pilouche.
Oh, that's two different. Okay.
Yeah, P. Dot.
Gotcha. I see the dot now.
La Familia Pilouche.
Have you seen it?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
Never even heard of it until you pointed it out.
I'm good and hungry.
What are you gonna eat?
I'm thinking about Chick-fil-A. I was thinking Zaxby's. You know what? I think I'm gonna do Zaxby's. Okay. What's the place? Five Guys. Listen, I love me some Five Guys. So usually what I do is I'll get hot sauce on my burger. But they also offer A1 sauce, and I decided to try that. It wasn't bad. I'm thinking about doing both of them now.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for this?
Let's do it.
Okay. Is that a lot of movies?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's like, I'm not going to do that.
The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, which is in 1966.
Okay.
I'm just going off the major ones that stick out to me.
Yep.
Gran Torino.
Okay.
The Mule.
Yep.
Dirty Harry, like you said.
Yep.
I remember Fistful of Dollars. I never seen it, obviously. $1 Million Baby.
Oh, yeah.
American Sniper.
I don't remember.
I never watched it, but I remember the movie though.
I saw the movie. Okay. All right.
He was in Escape from Alcatraz.
Okay.
I don't know. Let's see. Trouble with the Curve. I watched that.
Never heard of that.
So he plays like a baseball scout, and so like he goes out to scout talent. So his daughter ends up, I think, not necessarily taking over for him, but like she kind of starts helping him out because obviously he's getting older, he can't do it as much, but he still has the eye, and so she has the eye, so he has to kind of train her to be another scout. It's a good movie though. Space Cowboys, Mystic River.
Okay. Yep.
Let's see. A lot of other movies. Hang 'em High. I've heard that before. Sully.
Okay. I saw that. I don't remember him in it either.
I don't either. Invictus
I saw that.
with Morgan Freeman.
I don't remember. I just don't remember these movies.
I didn't see it. Let's see. I think that's about it. Oh, J. Edgar. I didn't know he was in that.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. Let's take a step back. Because I looked up the filmography. So I wonder if it's throwing in stuff that he's out. Because he produces and directs too. So I wonder if somebody probably directed or produced some of these.
That's what I was thinking about, Mystic River and a couple of them.
So I don't know. Either way it go, he's been around for. I just named off a few. It's a lot more.
So you were talking about Ball and Daughter. It made me think of Winning Time.
I haven't watched the new season yet.
We are the specific reason that they canceled that show. Me and you. We were holding it, we were giving it life. And since we didn't watch season 2, they was like, all right, James and Larry ain't talking about it on their podcast.
He did. I did see he was a director of some of those as well. Yeah. I did see he directed The Bridges of Madison County. I didn't know that. I did see a clip on Instagram of Winning Time where it was like Larry Bird. I don't know who he was playing, but he went in something like gym and he played like some pickup game. He dropped like 40 points and wearing jeans and a plaid shirt. I was like, what?
They're not helping the plumber,
Hey man, I just tell you what I saw.
Speaking of basketball, listen, this season right here, I listen. So me personally, I don't think Victor Wembanyama is going to be like. I think when it's all said and done, he probably have like a Yao Ming kind of career. But the few when the pregame,
you have hope in him. You have a lot of faith in him.
He's I don't.
Okay.
But preseason games, he was doing his thing. I was like, you know what? I'm actually pretty excited about that. And then, the Suns putting their team together, like a lot of things, and the Celtics. I was like, I'm really hyped for this season.
Do you think it's just because he's on a young team?
You talking about Wembanyama?
Mm-hmm.
For me, no. I just think that his size, his build, to be, I'm not one of those people that believe in jinxes, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did get injured this year. And I just feel like that's probably going to hold him back.
Yeah. Well, I know when I watch some sports shows, everybody's pretty high on him as far as like having a stellar career. Mm-hmm. But one of the main caveats that everybody's giving is like if he can stay healthy, or if he doesn't get hurt, everybody feels like he can have a great career. But of course, that's hinging on the fact that he doesn't have a lot of injuries and stuff like that. But you can say that about anybody, though.
So me, best case scenario, Yao Ming. Mid case scenario, Kristaps Porzingis. Worst case scenario, not Bobo. It was somebody else that Taco Fall. Worst case scenario. I don't think he's going to be Taco Fall. So let me not say worst case scenario.
How dare you, James?
What? I think Kristaps Porzingis is a good. Like, I
would put Kristaps over Yao Ming.
Like when that Kristaps is not a Hall of Famer. Yao Ming is in the Hall of Fame.
Why though?
That's what I mean. Yeah, I know why. It's not because of his play.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I would put Kristaps. I get what you're saying as far as like he's a Hall of Famer over Kristaps. However, career wise and talent wise, Kristaps is.
I agree.
I would say at best he could be a Kristaps, mid-level Yao Ming, and then.
That's what I was saying. Career. Because right now I don't see Kristaps being a Hall of Famer. When it's all said and done. But no, I agree. Kristaps they both were injured. Taco Fall is not like he didn't get any play. So obviously Wembanyama's getting playing time. He's going to be the star of whatever team he's going to be on. Mm-hmm. So maybe I should. I don't know.
Because I feel like Bobo got gypped. Yes. Because he wasn't brought in as a star compared to Wembanyama. Like they brought him in as like, we're gonna build a team around you. Bobo's kind of like, you got talent, we'll let you play. And then they got him in, it was like, we're gonna not let you play. But then we're gonna let you play.
There's a little bit more to it than there's people who have come out and said that Bobo is his work ethic. He's not somebody who cares about putting in the work.
But what's the reason though? If I don't feel wanted, do I really want to put in the effort?
I think it's more that he feels like he should have a bigger role.
Okay.
So I mean, they don't. So yeah, I guess when it comes down to it, they don't see him as the star. But he feels like he should be the star, and they don't feel like that. So I'm not going to put in much effort.
Because I would wager. When he first got there, he probably came out like working hard, doing everything he's gonna do. He was like, "Yeah, because I got talent. They know I got talent. They brought me in." And then when he saw that they didn't really put the effort back into him, he was just like, "All right."
My question to you: if the NBA expands next year and they bring in 2 new teams, and then they just have one team full of people, the rejects, so Isaiah Thomas, DeMarcus Cousins, Dwight Howard, Bobo, all the
people that are still in the league, or you're bringing back people who?
Yeah. None of these people are in the league right now.
That's what I'm saying. But you're bringing them back, or are you going to do rejects of people who are in the league now?
I'm sorry, Bobo is technically, but yeah. So bringing them back.
Okay.
Right. So, how far do you? Because I mean, I think obviously Isaiah Thomas. I'm not saying he's not, because he could be out there running all kind of, scrimmages, whatever.
I've seen some videos of him playing on Instagram. He's still balling.
Exactly. So I think, how far do you think that team could go?
First round.
Carmelo Anthony.
First round. That's about it.
Okay.
Well, play in. I'll say play in now.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Here's my question to you, since we're talking sports. How do you feel about the new in-season tournament?
I'm with it. I'm not gonna say I'm excited for it, but I'm not against it. So the courts, I thought that they were going to be a lot more unique to the point, like, I don't know how to, like, city jerseys, like the courts kind of matches the different kind of jerseys, but they already have so many different jerseys, so many courts, that they don't need to make another unique court for everybody. So with them being uniform with just a different logo and different colors, I think that's very good for brand recognition, for people to understand, hey, this is a part of the in-season tournament. I think that's the way they should have went. So at first, I was like, I don't like the courts. But anyway, the season, we'll see. I don't know how. What's the word? How much they're going to value the trophy and the whatever, and it also is it just going to be money? Because I know at first they were saying that whoever wins gets an extra first round pick. So if that's the case, then
I don't know.
But then again, I think people were saying, well, why would I fight in a tournament for you to pick somebody to possibly replace me?
I don't know. I mean, that's definitely something to consider. My biggest issue that I had with it was I was thinking that it was going to be like kind of like an all-star thing. It was like you basically pause the regular season, play this tournament, and then continue. But from what I heard from Adam Silver when he was on First Take, the in-season tournament, the games that they play are basically still regular season games.
Yep.
They just have more weight.
Yep.
For some reason, I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man.
We'll see. Just like the play-in tournament, everybody I won't say everybody, but they had people who were down on it, and people love it now. So, I mean, I don't see how this could hurt because this is like you said, it's still regular season games.
Yeah.
So there's no negatives, there's no takeaways from it.
Yeah, but I feel like it's different though, because I feel like with the play-in, that while people were down on it initially, but people bought into it later because it was like it gives other teams a chance to make it to the playoffs who wouldn't normally be in the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like even though we're not in the 8th seed, we still have a shot. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense. But this tournament is kind of like because let's say we win the in-season tournament and we don't go to the playoffs. Like, is it like a runner-up trophy? Like, what does the trophy really mean? Like, oh, we won the in-season tournament. Like, okay, let's say what's a really trash team right now?
The Hornets.
Okay, let's say the Hornets. Mm-hmm. Let's say the next 5 years, right? They never make it to the playoffs, but they win the in-season tournament all 5 years. What does that really mean?
I think just the spirit of competition that people, are going to naturally want to beat them. I mean, I know, sure, this is a new trophy, but, I mean, hardware is hardware, and eventually this is going to be in the record books. So I think it doesn't hurt them to not want to win, to not win it. It's just that, I guess, the monetary, I think, is like either an extra 100,000 or something like that. That would more incentivize the people, the role players, the bench players, as opposed to the stars. So stars, they may rest, but whatever.
So in your mind, do you not see a potential to where it could eventually devalue the NBA championship trophy?
No, not at all. Because I think they redesigned the trophy, so I don't know how people are going to feel about that. But when it comes down to it, who cares about how it looks? It's about what it represents. But no, I don't see it devaluing it because. Oh, you make a good point. Now that I think about it, it's not the end all be. It's not the final.
Because the way I guess the reason why I'm mentioning it that way is because let's say you are a trash team like the Hornets. Mm-hmm. And maybe, okay, you may not say it out loud that, like, we're not going to make it to the finals this year. But you may know it within the locker room, within yourself. You may know we're not going to make it to the finals, right? Of course, you want to. You're still going to play like you want to get there, obviously. But I feel like it gets to a certain part of the season where you kind of know, like, okay, maybe this, if things play our way, maybe we can get in, but this may not be our year. But like, if we can win that in-season tournament,
so yeah, I'm trying to think of like what, because it's so early in the season that. So a lot of things are going through my mind. So you got the teams before the trade deadline, because trade deadlines sometimes it like revamps teams. Mm-hmm. So if they can win beforehand, then maybe that'll feel whatever kind of way. But at the same time, typically teams who make it to the championship are also good at the beginning. I mean, they're always good. So in my head, the people who are going to make the playoffs are probably still going to be the same people who are winning this tournament. So people who aren't good aren't going to have a chance anyway. I don't know. I don't know.
Because if you're a team like, let's say you're the Suns, let's say you're the Bucks, whatever. If the in-season tournament is just regular season games, if my main goal is to play to win the NBA Finals, and we've built the team to do that, we're obviously going to have a better record, and we're obviously going to win a lot more in-season regular games.
Yeah.
So we're probably going to have a better chance of winning the in-season tournament as well as winning the Finals championship.
But I see what you're saying, though. Now that I think about it, like, let's say, the Nuggets do, win the lone game, they win the NBA championship, but the Suns won the in-season tournament. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's fine, y'all can have the championship, but we won this over here. Like, that's interesting. That's interesting. Because part of me wants to say this is almost like, I want to say that I feel like it's like the Summer League. So you have Summer League, but Summer League isn't part of the regular season.
It isn't.
So it's like there's levels. So you got Summer League, in-season tournament, champions.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I feel like the only defining factor, like you were saying earlier, or like you were alluding to earlier, is that what do you win with the trophy? Mm-hmm. Because if it is a draft pick, that has a downside because, like you said, now I'm playing to win this, to ultimately be given away to somebody because you can use that draft pick as a means to trade, do whatever.
That's true.
Or you just bringing in somebody younger who's going to be better than me. Mm-hmm. I don't know. So it's kind of like, as a player, that's not going to make me want to play harder for this in-season tournament.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. Because you already got the whole thing of, like, not trying to rest too many stars at the same time. So
this year is something. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I feel like what they should have just did, if they really wanted to shake some stuff up, instead of doing the top 8 on each side, just top 10.
All together.
Top 10 in the NBA, let that be the playoffs.
That is, I think the reason with that is flying, like travel, which they say isn't that big of a deal anymore. But no, I definitely that is what's probably best for the league.
Well, like I said, that's only if they really want to shake it up. Mm-hmm. But because I don't know, because I get the whole reason for the in-season tournament because you want to give teams a reason to feel like the regular season matters as opposed to like, oh, we just fast forward into the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Like, I get it, or players and fans, but still, it's kind of like, do I really care if the Hornets win the in-season tournament?
No, I know, I wouldn't.
Because it's not like, because I guess in my mind, if the Hornets win the in-season tournament, it doesn't, like, unless I'm just a delusional fan, it doesn't mean, oh, we're going to no, it's just, you won a regular season tournament.
Yeah. You just got a trophy that didn't mean anything up until, and I don't know. It's only going to be as valuable. It could like fail, and then they drop it like in 2-4 years.
Well, it could. Like I said, I think it all goes back to like you were saying. It just depends on what do you get for winning the trophy. Because if it's just playing for the trophy, just to get a trophy, I feel like it could either work or not work, depending upon how people buy into it. But if there's really some kind of weight or reward to it, it's going to make it mean more as opposed to just be like, we won 5 years in a row with the in-season tournament, but I don't know.
We the team to beat.
Yeah, man, we the early odds to win the finals because we won. We're the reigning in-season tournament champs.
With our full and healthy roster before anybody get injured. Oh, this is the time for the Clippers right here. Oh, man.
I think I said that to you on Instagram. The picture of, what's his name from the Clippers? It was like a picture of a guy on the Clippers. It was in the locker room. And they zoomed in on his face. It was like the look of a guy watching his minutes diminish when they was hard to walk in. I was like, I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry.
You know what's crazy? The Clippers, I think, they were like 3-0. I don't know what there's, but they started off pretty good.
Yeah, I think they play the Lakers tonight.
All right. I need to go. I want to go watch some basketball.
All right.
Let's play some basketball. You got anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
You can find me on Instagram at HAPPEE__MILLS. You can find me on Twitter, HAPPY_MILLS. We have a page on YouTube. Wow, we have a YouTube channel.
If you got to this point, you know we have a page on YouTube.
Yeah, we just got a page. No videos, just a page. Yeah, we got a YouTube channel, the big and short of it all.
Like and share and subscribe and all the
Yes.
things.
Okay, do better.
It's all good, man. Everybody don't mention it, but you know, it is what it is. You can find me on Instagram at DA_bear29. I always feel iffy about that when I say it.
This is BARE.
It's BEAR.
Oh, okay.
DA_bear. I just realized I've never spelled it.
Don't mind me.
DA_BEAR29. We also have a TikTok page.
Yes. I love it.
A TikTok page.
You sound so old.
I know. I feel old, James.
Don't feel old, man. You're still a young, strapping gentleman. Jimmy Leg's still working?
James.
Okay. All right.
They still do what it do, but
I got you.
don't always do what it do.
I got you.
But when it do what it do, it do what it
They be
do.
doing.
But listen, the leg Jimmys and the Jimmy legs, because when they Jimmy legs, the leg Jimmy.
Them legs be loving Jimmy.
Ladies love Jimmy legs.
All right.
Off the rails. I think that's it.
Thank y'all for listening.
Oh, you got Instagram? Big short of it all.
Yeah. It's pretty simple. Just look us up everywhere. Big and short of it all.
Quick question, James. I guess we can talk about this off air.
What's up?
Well, since I mentioned it now. Since we got the YouTube videos, you think we should? How do you think we should switch up like the music intro?
Oh, I was thinking that at one point. Yeah. Oh shoot. Okay. We gotta have an intro.
I mean, we ain't got a rap on it or nothing.
No, I hear you. Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank y'all for listening.